Yeah.
Hi Anupriya, how are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thanks. How are you?
I'm good too, thank you. So can you please tell me about yourself?
Yeah, sure. I'm Anupriya. I'm having 6 years of experience in testing, including manual and automation. And uh, if I talk about my roles and responsibility, I'm
Hmm.
working as a software engineer in testing. And my responsibility, first of all, whenever I just log in with like I join the office, then I have a responsibility to open the mail or check the if anything assigned to me or not. Even we are using agile methodology, but we have daily scrum meeting as well with the manager or all the QA team
Hmm.
to let him know about what we have done yesterday, what we are going to do today, if is there anything blocker or like a stopper we are facing while testing
Hmm.
anything. And then as soon as we get the incident, then we are just preparing a test plan based on the requirement mentioned in the incident or RQ, and
Hmm.
then writing the test case. And if needed or if already exists, then we are updating as per the requirement. Or if needed, then we're writing the test case, new test cases, and executing by using Jira tool. And also, if any bug found during the testing, we're log and assigning to the developer and
Hmm.
performing multiple types of testing like functional integration system,
Hmm.
smoke testing, and uh, like regression testing, retesting.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah, they are my responsibility. So, I can say I'm having daily communication with the clients or BA or developer team. With BA, if anything confusion or conflict happens between the requirement, they're connecting with the VA to clarification of that. And for with the developer, if a developer is not able to reproduce the bugs, or then we are providing the steps how to do, to help to find out the issue where I have found.
Hmm.
And with the clients, suppose if any new requirement or any new enhancement come to us, and then giving the demo to them, like how this functionality has been developed and it's working like that. If anything feedback they provided, we noted it down. And also like fixing in the same release, or creating a new incident for that and assigning to the developer.
Hmm. Okay. So let's say there is a complex functionality or feature you have to test. So what will be your approach for designing test cases for complex functionalities?
Complex functionality,
Yeah. Let's say
which kind of
any yeah, any example. Let's say if it's a complex functionality which needs to be taken care from the testing perspective. For example, you have an
suppose
um,
if I can taking example of login functionality,
yeah, so that's not a
is
complex
it fine?
functionality. No, that's not a complex functionality. That's a straightforward, simple
Hello.
hello. Yeah, am I audible?
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
So login is not a complex functionality. So let's take an example of Amazon.com. In that you have got the payment functionality, which is
Your
actually
voice is
critical.
breaking up.
Yeah, now is it audible?
Yes.
Mm,
In between, like you are just breaking. Just wait.
okay.
Let me check.
Mm-hmm.
Allow me a minute.
Mm-hmm. No worries, no worries. Take your time.
Yeah. So now, yeah, can you please repeat once
Mm,
again?
mm. Okay. So let's say you have some complex functionality which needs to be tested or complex feature, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
you are supposed to perform testing on that. So how will you approach designing test cases for complex functionalities? What will be your strategy for that? Hello? Yeah, Anupriya, am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yeah, I will first of all, I will just check the functionality. So suppose I get the any module that is very complex, then I will first of all go through the that particular module, then how
Mm,
it's working. Based on that, I will uh, like uh, I will check how much test scenarios and test plans. So test scenarios can be tested for particular things, and then if I'll prepare a test scenario, based on test scenario, I can prepare a test plan. Suppose there is a critical, I can say, uh, if there is a five links or five module, sorry, five functionality available in that module, then I will pick one by one all the links or whatever things is available, and based on that I will prepare positive and negative test cases for all these things.
Mhm. So what are edge cases in testing?
Age test cases.
Edge cases in testing. What are those?
Sorry, sir, I'm unable to recall that.
No worries, no worries. So edge cases in testing are nothing but they refer to scenarios or few conditions that lie at the boundaries or maybe extremes of that particular input domain, right? So maybe you can say corner cases, right? That might be very less common or that might be unlikely to occur, but they will have their impact on the system. Hmm. So what you need to answer, so whenever you get this question in a real-time interview, how do you approach designing test cases for complex system? So what you will do,
Mm-hmm.
you will analyze the requirements thoroughly and you will identify the critical flow, the path of that particular feature and the edge cases. You will prioritize test scenarios based on the risk analysis. You will ensure that you are covering the test coverage with respect to both functional as well as non-functional testing. Mm, because just covering functional will not help. It's one of the complex functionality. It might have some of the this non-functional requirements also in the acceptance criteria, right? So that's how you have to deal. And then let's say if any assumptions are to be taken. So first what you will do is you will get those things validated or you will get those kind of assumptions approved from maybe client or from your stakeholders, and then only you will go for those assumptions and start testing, right? Is this clear?
Assumptions you are taking for the input, like what are the inputs we are going to, or for the data?
Hmm. It can be related to data. It can be related to input. For example, one of the assumption that you might be taking that, okay, that this functionality will be working for only new users, not for existing users, if it is not written in the user story. So before
Mm.
going for such kind of assumptions or any such kind of things, get those approvals first from the business team or stakeholders or the clients, and then only you should go for those kind of testing, right? Once your assumptions are in place, those are in full approval from the top management or people who have already written those user tickets, user stories, then only you
It
will
should be
consider
also
those.
mentioned in the like tickets for the
Yeah,
further qualification.
yeah. Now, sometime what happens is in the user story, you might not get 100% of information.
Yeah,
Then what would happen is you will have to go for some assumptions. So you can go for assumptions, but get those assumptions in an official email approved that these are the assumptions we are considering for testing. Later on, it should not happen that you provided the sign off considering the testing based on that assumption, and they tell, no, no, this was not the right thing. So you have the email with you, which
yeah,
you can then have an official channel itself, right?
yeah,
So like
yeah.
this kind of things does not happen. So
Yeah,
that's
this
how
kind of scenario I have faced during my testing
I
life.
faced.
Like,
Right, right. These things do happen. So that's how we have to deal with such kind of scenarios.
okay.
Okay. What is the domain of the project in which you are currently working? Is it e-commerce based? Is it
Yeah,
uh,
it is e-commerce.
e-commerce based project? Okay. So how will you create a test strategy for an e-commerce website?
Test strategy.
Hmm.
Uh, Test a strategy. I will prepare like you mean test planning
No,
or
test plan is different, right? So as you have 6 years of experience, yes, you might be expected to design test plan, you might be expected to create test strategy also, right? So, okay, so you are
That
aware of.
strategy means you are asking about like if I got the application e-commerce and there is any application, then how will I start? How will I process the testing on that particular application?
Mm. So that
What
is,
would be the approach for to test that,
yeah,
right?
yeah, testing approach is there. But
Hmm.
see, test plan is what all things you will test. Test strategy is how you will test it. So as you are telling, what would be your approach? So how you will how you will strategize your testing such that you are able to get the quality product at the end. So what would be your test strategy?
First of all, as soon as I must have the a stable build to test that particular application, and the environment, the browser, the documents, and after documents or requirement, I must have the test scenarios, test cases, and must
Mhm,
prepare the test RTM documents, and how much resources should be there, who is going to test the if there are 5 modules, they will be responsible for each of the modules, I think.
mhm. Okay. What else?
And how much test cases would be executed, uh, and
Hmm.
what if if found if any bug we found during the testing, then how much test developers or to whom we need to discuss what would be the business logic, what would be the risk mitigation for that.
Hmm.
If some resources like in future some resources have left, then who will be the responsible for that particular part,
Hmm.
like
So that's kind of a
preparing the
planning,
initial.
right? So that's what you are doing as a part of planning process, like which resource will be going for which module testing, which person will be assigned which tickets. So there will be a module QA, there will be a developer who would be assigned to those modules, who will do what. That's a kind of a planning of resources that you are doing. Maybe if you are automating, so which tool you are using. But in the test strategy, what you can answer is you can answer with respect to different testings that you have to perform. For example, it's an e-commerce website, so you have to perform functional testing, right? So it is important that you cover functional as well as non-functional points in your test
Non-functional.
strategy, right? So
Yeah.
functional is one of the aspect. You will be doing functional testing. You will be prioritizing test scenarios based on user experience, based on risk assessment, and you will be doing usability testing. What is usability testing? Usability testing is you will be validating the design, the layout, or
And yes,
whether the
links,
elements,
buttons.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So those buttons, those screens, whether the layout or the branding is proper, how what
Look and feels we are
look
checking
and
this.
feel of menus, call to action buttons, is the visibility is clear. What
Drop
about,
downs. Yeah.
right? What about the mobile responsiveness, compatibility with various devices,
On
those things,
OS. Yeah.
right?
Okay.
Then from the non-functional again, you can cover performance.
Which tool we are going to use for this testing, like that?
Hmm,
Like Jira for test management tool. We have multiple test management,
hmm,
but for this testing or for this application, which like tools we are going to use?
hmm, hmm. Yeah, so tools is good, but how you will be using those tools? So how many users you would be testing? So and how you will be performing load testing? So first of all is you will be performing load testing during the peak hours. So you'll identify from the customer when they are going to use that particular application. And let's say if out of 8 to 10 hours, you will identify the peak hours when the customer is using that application because at that time there will be a maximum load. So you will be trying to simulate that kind of load in that particular period itself on the application. That's also a test strategy, right? So that you come
Well,
to know.
that is a part of non-functional. Once we complete, once we done for the
Mhm.
functionally, then we're going with non-functional, right?
Right, right. So both the things you have to cover, functional as well as non-functional. In the non-functional, you also have to cover about response time. You have to cover about when the traffic is increasing on the application. So what is the response of the application? Is the application able to withstand that load, right? So those things. And
Okay.
then in the strategy, you also have to make sure that you cover cross-browser, cross-device testing. For example,
Yeah.
you have to work on various test on various browsers, various devices. And let's say this is with respect to a new commerce e-commerce website. What if the website is already live? Then you can request the customer to provide few of their projects from the production environment, which you can use in your testing environment so that you are able to test with the same test data which customer is testing. Okay, you'll
Yeah.
identify from their production database. If you don't have rights, you will be requesting them, or they might give you the data. What are the different roles and permissions that they are using? Which are the different types of users that they are using for testing? What is the different flow? What are the, let's say if it's an e-commerce website, so maybe some particular product that they are accessing multiple times. So you'll focus on those products, focus on those kind of categories, right? So that's how you will strategize your testing, right? You're getting it? Hmm?
Yes.
Okay, okay, great. Hmm. What do you know about security testing?
Security testing, we are checking for the like if other person is not accessible my URLs
Hmm.
or not able to access my application. So other person outside the person should not hack my application.
Hmm.
So this is for security testing to check to make sure that our application is fully secure. Other person outside the hackers or any person should not could not access my application.
Hmm.
So to overcome this situation, we are using security testing. Like there is a URL modification. If someone has taken my URL and trying to reopen with some other data, it should not be logged. It should be blocked.
Hmm.
And what were the keywords?
Vulnerability.
Vulnerability. Yeah. Suppose mm, if you are passing any some different type of data, it should not accepted in your application. You should get the error code while entering that data.
Okay. What else?
Suppose response time. If you're taking response time, suppose you have mentioned response of 30 second or 30 minutes or 10 minutes, and within that second or minute, if if you have logged in with any credentials, it should get logged out automatically. If you are trying to refresh, it remains the same. That means that it's a bug. It should get after 10 minutes or 30 minutes, it should get logged out automatically.
Okay. So how will you perform cross-site scripting?
Cross-site scripting.
Scripting. Yeah. It's also a part of
Uh,
security testing. So how will you perform it?
Suppose it's a URL things in a one browser. If you have opened that one URL, sorry, you have opened one page and
Hmm.
also trying to use that, trying to use or open that URL in another web browser, then it should not get open in another only one.
Hmm.
You should get a message like user is already logged in, already logged. You are not, like, you should not get entered.
Okay.
So that scripting is like that.
No, no. So actually, see, I'll tell you the answer for that. See, cross-site scripting. Let me share my screen. Is my screen visible to you?
Yes.
Hmm. So what happens in cross-site scripting is you are testing if there are some particular controls or some particular uh, uh, text boxes or some kind of points in your web applications where the hackers or where the people who are trying to hack the application, attackers, they are able to inject malicious scripts, right? So let's say you are
Oh,
accessing some user, but if some malicious script is been injected into that particular page or screen. That is called as cross-site scripting. So what you will do is you'll identify and you'll mitigate these kind of vulnerabilities. Now, there are several points that you
So
can
in
do.
the URL we are entering, right? The malicious scripts.
Not only in the URL, but actually in the various controls like text boxes, forms, in the URL parameters also you can do those kind of malfunctioning. Then, sorry, malicious kind of thing. Then HTTP headers, right? Wherever
Yeah,
you are able to have some kind of data from the user. For example, you are entering login parameters in username password field, that those are text boxes wherein the user has to provide the data. So there you can check for this kind of cross-site scripting, right?
yeah,
So what you will do is you'll so first of all you'll identify the input fields, which are the different input fields in your application and which are the different injection points wherein this particular in the web application wherein the attackers or the people who can inject few of the scripts, right? Then you can test for reflected accesses, right? For
mm,
testing XSS vulnerability. So what you will do is you'll use such the kind of techniques such as script alert. You'll pass XSS here and maybe some kind of images you can use or maybe some kind of forms or input fields you can
yes,
use
I have tested these things, this scenario
to
into
test
my
it, right?
application.
And then
Yeah,
you click on the submit button and then you see what kind of error message you're getting or whether the first
yeah,
check would be whether you're getting error message or not. If you're not getting any error message, that means those things are not handled in your web application which you are testing,
yeah,
which is under the testing, right?
yeah. Recently, security testing has been implemented in my application, and I have tested this as well.
Okay. Then you can also test for stored access, DOM-based access, right?
Yeah.
You can
Mm.
also test for bypass techniques, right?
So
Wherein,
can you share these documents with me?
sure, I'll do it. I'll do it. Okay. So you were telling that recently you did the security testing. So apart from cross-site scripting, what else did you test it? And how did you give your estimation to do security testing? How much time do you need to do security testing?
Full security testing to test
Mm,
the we have take like 2 days.
2 days. Okay.
Mm,
Did you use any tool?
no, there is no tools. We have done manually.
Mm, okay.
Like I have tested URL modification.
Mm, hello.
Suppose if you have done. Hello,
Sorry.
am I
Yeah.
audible?
Yes. Now you're audible. Yeah.
I have tested like URL modification.
Mm,
Suppose if you have logged in and your URL is something like HTTP and login page and something,
mm,
and you have so like you have removed some part of the area and enter vulnerabilities texted, then it should not get reload. It should get logged out.
mm. Okay.
Uh, yeah, URL modification I have tested in
Mm,
security testing.
okay. So how will you test?
Response time I have tested in the like suppose if you are hitting anything, then
Mm,
in console how much time it taking
mm,
load that particular module or
mm,
function.
mm. Okay. So which are the things that you have tested from the token point of view? Let's say you have some particular token you are telling, which you are
Yeah,
testing that that token should be valid for some time period, and that token
okay.
is then getting revoked or a new token is being generated. So which are the different test scenarios again from the security testing point of view, which will cover with respect to the token based testing?
Yeah, there were, but I have not
Mm,
tested this token based
okay.
security.
Okay, so let's say if you get this kind of testing, so which are the different test scenarios that you will test in future?
For the token based, right?
Mm, mm,
Scenario, suppose if uh, uh, token based is this means कि we are, if we are hitting any application on the URL, then new token is getting generated.
new token is getting generated then.
each hit. If it's generating or not, or existing will already exist there. Then I will check. Suppose I have not hitted or I'm checking without hitting the web page on the web page whether it's a new token is getting generated or not. Suppose I will check the multiple ways in like positively and negatively. Suppose I have clicked on multiple URLs, sorry, multiple links on the web page at a time immediately, like one by one. Then I will check whether the multiple tokens is getting generated or not, or only one tokens we are getting.
Mm. Okay. So what I'll do
If
is
new window is open or new page is getting open, for that also I will check whether it's getting generated or not.
so what do you think? What should be happening if you launch your URL in a new browser? Should it take the same token? Should it take the different token? Will it reuse the
Different
old
token
token?
should be generated because we
Different
have
token.
opened new page. Yeah.
Okay. Now what would happen in incognito mode of the browser?
Cognito mode, if you open new tab, then it should be
Not new tab, in incognito mode. Incognito mode if you launch the browser in incognito mode. Don't you think it should
it,
take the same token?
it,
Hmm.
same token means if we cognito mode
Hmm.
is already secure or
Hmm.
safety, it should be generated new one.
New one, right? Okay,
Yeah.
fine. So I'll tell you a few of the scenarios that you can answer. See, token generation and transmission. So first of all, you'll
Am I
verify.
right for that
So,
answer or
so in incognito mode, you will have to log in again. So there will be a new token that will be generated.
yes?
So that thing you have to test. So token generation and transmission. So first of all, you'll verify that the tokens which are generated that are created using secured algorithms, maybe JWT or anyone else mechanism, right? So you have to ensure that the tokens are transmitted securely over HTTPS. Those should not be in the plain text, should not be included in the URL parameters. Then token validity and expiry. This is the second scenario. So you will validate that the token refresh mechanism is working fine. It should not happen that if the token validity is written in the code, it should be valid for 10 minutes. At 11th minute or even after 10 minutes, 1 second, it is still working. That's a critical issue if it is working. Token storage and handling. So you need to test how tokens are stored on the client side and cookies, local storage, session storage. The sensitive information should not be revealed in the plain text or should not be exposed. Then
Okay.
token revocation and logout. So you have to ensure that once you log out, then the token should be invalid.
Invalid. Yeah.
Token scope and permissions. This is one more scenario. Token based authorization, right? You will test the authorization logic to ensure that access to sensitive resources is properly restricted based on token based
Restricted.
authentication, right? Those kind of things you will
Yeah.
test.
Permission manipulation. Yeah.
Right, right. Okay, great. Now, can you tell me an important defect that you have found in your career so far, for which you got appreciation, for which you got acknowledgement?
Important bug I found. Uh, I cannot say that that was the bug, but it was the functionality, some like improvement, some roles and some permissions were required. Suppose I was working with some workflow module, and I was testing, but when that functionality got uh, goes to the production, but client was unable to test that because of the roles and the permissions, so they were not aware about that. So I just catch up with them, and I just resolved that issue. So I got that appreciation for that. And if I talk about the e-commerce things, I have received suppose you are adding into the cart one product,
Mm,
but after sometimes if you come back to the another page in the cart, that items become two, because I have added only one, it is automatically got increased by number of two.
mm.
So, and after sign off, it is also showing the like payment or anything is saying for the only one for product. An amount is also showing for one product, but in item the product is showing two. So this was the major bug I
So
have
don't
found.
you think such bugs should be caught in the smoke testing itself?
Yeah,
So whenever you get this question, you have
a
to,
mock testing, yeah,
yeah,
it was working, but due to
it
the
was
some
working.
build mismatch,
Mm,
when you got the build at the time,
mm,
we performed the mock testing. In
mm,
that, this functionality was working perfectly fine. But
mm,
after that, and we got like say that yeah, it is just stable and something. But after something like mismatch happened during the from the developer side, its functionality was unable, like it was not working. It is showing as a but whatever, like everything is working fine, like a message is also showing product, one product is added into the cart and everything is working fine, but after going to the that page, it is showing that product is added as a two.
mm. Yeah. So let's say if you're doing smoke testing, so you got the build at 11 a.m., you ran the smoke testing. In that
Yeah.
itself, you got this issue, right? Then you don't
Mhm.
have to test that particular build if the build is not stable enough, right? So you have to tell about the defect that was found by you, maybe some complex scenario. In the first example that you gave, when client was unable to test that functionality based on some permission, so you enabled those permissions for them. Maybe the prerequisite was not fulfilled. Maybe the person
Yeah,
who gave them the access to the application did not give them the permissions, right permissions to access that functionality. So it's not a bug, it's not a defect.
yeah, it's not a
It's
bug.
yeah.
Yeah.
So tell me some complex scenario defect that you have found in your career so far. Something which is complex, something which is missed by other team members but is caught by you, something that would have impacted the business if you would have missed that bug. Any such
The
example?
URL was not working, like link was not working. Yeah, 2 minutes, just give me 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
The URL was on like home sorry, the tag was incorrect. I was testing for the parcel modal e-commerce product was there. The
Mm-hmm.
parcel modal, the modal should be MOTEL, but it was MOTAL. UI issue I found, but I critical like for that
Mm-hmm.
blocker should be there. Like
No worries, Anupriya. So this is
yes,
fine. Okay, Anupriya, I am done with the interview. Do you have any questions for me?
yes. I can you give me like for this
Mhm.
example broker bug.
Yeah, so feedback is like you need to do some preparation on this real-time things.